How and when did you become interested in bowling?
I was 5 years old and my grandparents started me. They were bowlers and I went with them bowling one night and I just have been doing it ever since.
What advice would you give to a younger bowler?
Well, the first advice I would give is to make sure that you get your schooling in a college degree. And then second of all, I would make sure that they had a good coach and learn to be very versatile on all lane conditions.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Price Lanes at Price's Corner. This is Len Holmquist in company with Ward Novak, the secretary of the Wilmington Bowling Association. And we are ready to bring you the championship match, and it's going to be Shawn-Broomall against Jeremy Hyatt in the title match of the Bowlers Gazette Top 10 Tournament Junior Boys Division. And Jeremy Hyatt will get us started by having to cover a 7-pin spare. Jeremy is a 9th grader at Del Castle Technical High School.
I got a chance to talk to Jeremy a little bit before the tournament started, and he mentioned to me that he hopes that the lanes are real tight because he likes tight lanes.
Well, he just ran by the 7-pin, and that's not a good way to sit. But he's got a lot of room left in front.
9 more frames.
Yeah, that's only frame number 1. Here is Shawn-Broomall, 15 years of age. He's
Shawn-Broomall, telephone line 6.
He's just received a telephone call, but he won't be able to take it for a while. And he's got a lot of work here in the first frame. He is a student, 9th grade student at Howard High School of Technology. He is involved in the electronic trades. That means that he's going to make a lot of money come down the road. Maybe, if not by bowling, but being an electrician of some sort someday.
He started bowling when he was 3.
Probably got a good start from his dad, Dave. Broomall was a fairly accomplished bowler in this area. Makes 2 out of the 3, and we'll have to shake it off now and move over to lane number 3. In the prep boys competition, Jimmy Johnson III was the champion, defeating Michael Rieger, and big game for little Jimmy, 225. A lot of strikes in that game as Jimmy won it. Shawn-Broomall, he'll have to make the 10-pin to get his first mark of the evening or of this match. These matches, by the way, being taped on Sunday night, June 1st at Price Lanes. Pin in the channel, but that shouldn't be a problem as he goes after this 10-pin. Covers it nicely. First mark of the game for Shawn-Broomall. Jeremy Hyatt got interested in bowling. What else at a tender age? By his, no, not by his mom and dad or anything like that, by a friend. A friend. And I would imagine that with his average that right now stands at 173, he's feeling a little indebted to that friend about now, don't you think?
Well, especially for being on TV. I think anytime you get an opportunity like this, it's kind of nerve-wracking, but you know, everybody emulates those guys on Saturday afternoons, so this is a great opportunity to be on television.
He is a Junior Bowlers Tour champion here at Price Lanes. He was a JBT 5th place finisher twice, once at Bowlerama, once here at Price Lanes, but he does have that Junior Bowlers Tour title, as I said. He's been bowling just 2.5 years, so you can see that he has come a long way in just a couple of years. Just think where he would be maybe if that friend had brought him along to bowling a little sooner than 2.5 years ago. Huh?
Yeah.
On lane number 3. He'll try to make it 2 marks in a row. That one got away from him a little bit, but he'll take it.
He crossed over, but he carried out that 5-pin on a Brooklyn hit.
You know, when you're up in years a little bit more and more accomplished, you're not real happy when that happens. But at his age and with his experience, you're delighted. You don't
my
care.
age and with my experience, I'm
That's
ecstatic.
True. And I've seen a lot of those from you. I really have down through the years. I want to point that out to our listeners and watchers, viewers. He'll have to get to the head pin, will Shawn. Got a little work left. 172 average is his tops. Recently was on a team in the WYABA competition that finished in 2nd place. He's been bowling for quite a while, as we pointed out. He started bowling when he was just 3. Probably was 2-handed at that time, I would imagine. Good turn on the ball, but he turns it too short. Laid it short, and it's going to cost him.
Yeah, he pulled that one across his body a little bit, Len, and I think that got him a little bit off direction from the start.
So he opens in the 3rd frame. Will count 33. Talks to himself just a little bit. Nothing new from a bowler standpoint, talking to yourself. You often want to wonder what the people say to themselves when they're talking about what they've just done. High on the head pin. Right now, Shawn seems to be a little unnerved or a little uneasy and has not found his rhythm, so to speak.
Well, he's probably wondering who that phone call was from.
Well, if you're 15 years old and you get a phone call and it's from a young lady, you may want to answer it.
Or maybe not.
Or maybe not. You're right. Difficult spare with that sleeper back
nice
there, but
shot.
he covers it nicely.
It was a real good shot.
Excellent shot. Just an excellent shot. Jeremy Hyatt. Jeremy was the top seed after they reached the top 5 stage of competition. In the junior boys earlier matches, D.J. Bunting defeated Chris Karangi 192 to 157. Then he in turn was Bunting by Adam Subak 163 to 156. And then Dave Broomall's son Shawn defeated Subak 169 to 137 to get here to the title match to take on Jeremy Hyatt, who has just covered the 610 spare.
And we've mentioned it before, Len, but I think we have to keep harping on this a little bit. The fact that these young players here are products of their youth coaching program at each of their home bowling centers. And I think we need to get more coaches out and more people certified to help these young people with their games.
Jeremy, a product of the Price Lanes junior program. Shawn coming from Bolorama. Oh, my. Crossed over and got a bad break. Not able to carry that 10-pin out after it looked like they were all going to go down for him.
Yeah, he's getting an overreaction on the back end. I think he's going to have to tuck in a little bit to get into some of that fresher oil.
Well, we've had a lot of matches bowled on this pair during our stay here at Price Lanes today, and that oil is moving around and moving down and drying up. He has a spare, and we'll be back with more of this championship match, Junior Boys Division, Bowlers Gazette Top 10 Tournament, in just a moment.
How and when did you become interested in bowling?
You know, I started when I was 6. My dad got me started through junior leagues, me and my sister, just for fun, and something that just kind of grew on me, and I stuck with it ever since.
What advice would you give to a younger bowler?
I would suggest that anybody who's really interested in taking bowling seriously is that they try to find a professional instructor in their area to work with them so that they will develop good habits, and to try to be a student of the game. You know, try to read books and magazines that give you information on the game so that you'll be more knowledgeable. But I suggest that there are even good clinics and seminars that they have all across the country, but definitely try to get professional instructions.
Back here at Price Lanes, this is Shawn Broomall, 15 years of age, taking on Jeremy Hyatt in the title match of the Bowlers Gazette Top 10 Tournament Junior Boys Competition. Shawn Ward just can't seem to settle himself down.
No, he's
a little hyper.
Yeah, he's pretty excited, I think, and looks almost like he's just trying to get that ball down the lane.
I would be too. I mean, bowling under the lights of TV and going for a title. Good release on the ball and good cover that time. So he'll spare here in the 5th frame. He counts 51 in the 4th with the spare in the 5th. His opponent, Jeremy Hyatt, with a 68 count in the 4th and a spare up in the 5th. So this match still anyone's as we move into the second half of the match. Shawn needs a good shot, and he's not going to get it with this ball, and now he's got himself a problem because he had the 2-pin fall out, and he's got a baby split that you rarely ever see.
No, you'll notice too that he's getting a little fast with his feet, and it's causing him to be a little bit off balance when he throws the ball. As a result, I think his release is not really where it should be.
Let's see if he can cover the spare. Will do it. Nicely
Great
done.
shot.
Nicely done.
Right now, I think his biggest challenge for Shawn is some of the spares he's leaving, because if he just settles down and gets his feet slowed down a little bit, I think he'll be in real good shape.
Both of these young men, by the way, using 16-pound equipment. Little high on the head pin for Jeremy Hyatt.
Jeremy's feet are super. His approach to the line is real good. It's just that he's gotten into that area that's been played all afternoon, and as a result, he's getting a little bit extra hook on the ball.
And he gives credit to his junior coaches. Asked who's influenced his game at this young age. My coaches, because they've taught me everything that I know. And he evidently is a quick study as well, because he's only been bowling for 2.5 years. Covers that spare.
I've noticed twice now he's had right side spares, and he flattens the ball out and gets it across the lane really, really well.
That's a good coaching technique. Get behind or under the ball and just to kill all hook off the ball and throw it fairly hard, fairly straight, and usually good things will come your way. 85 is his count in the 5th with a spare up in the 6th. He's shooting in the 7th on the left lane, goes left. 5-pin not carried out this time. He's had some success with that same kind of approach. Let it drift a little bit left, but that time not to be.
I think that's true, and watching him, he appeared to have tucked in a little bit more. He's playing a little more toward the center on that time. He just didn't trust the ball across the lane, expecting it to hook, and he directed it a little bit more, and that's why you got that Brooklyn reaction.
Well, you know, with the News Journal papers and the coverage with Gary Trumbore, with the printing of the top averages among the young bowlers in the state of Delaware, that's word can do nothing but help the interest in the game to a great extent.
Well, I think some studies have shown right now that was a real good shot by Shawn. He got back in the game with that one. I think that's a study that's actually shown some things, Len. If a bowling center promotes their youth program real strongly, and they also go after some of the upper averages, the youth see something to shoot for, and that gives them a reason to want to practice, and practice is kind of where the game is right now.
Well, and you know, in the sports pages of the newspaper, when you see who's leading in Major League Baseball and football and all of the other sports, golf and all of that, to see bowling and your name in there, that's a highlight for you.
That's for sure, and Gary's done a real good job this year making sure that publicity has been pushed around. We don't see just the scratch bowlers. We're talking about the handicap bowlers, so everybody's getting some play in the newspaper, and I think that brings interest.
Going after the 5-pin, it's not to be for Shawn. Still pretty much anyone's match. Shawn, with that miss, will count 117 with the open through 8 frames. Up in the 8th, working on a spare, is Jeremy Hyatt. Jeremy, of course, as I said, a 9th grader at Delcastle. I asked him, do you live around here? And he said, well, right across the street from the bowling center. So it's convenient for him to come over and practice, that's for sure.
That's it. When he gets a little bit older, I'm sure this will be one of those places he comes hunting a job.
Yeah, it certainly seems to run that way, because quite often they'll let you sneak in and throw a few games that don't cost you a whole lot or maybe nothing at all. Good cover on the 2-pin spare by Jeremy. 15-year-old with a 173 average after only 2.5 years of competition. I would take that at any stage of my game.
You'll notice his feet are real slow, real deliberate.
Yeah, he seems to have a good sense of purpose with the bowling ball, and he'll carry that left side hit. If it's working, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's right. Of course, as Billy Waylew used to say, trust is a must or your game is a bust, and this is one of those cases where I think Jeremy has to trust that ball out there a little bit.
Let's see if Shawn Broomall can stay in the match, and he does.
Yeah, Shawn's got the right lane.
Second time in a row that he has struck on the right lane. He's had some problems here on the left lane. Let's see if he can find a solution for it now.
It's unfortunate. It's kind of late in the game, and he won't be able to get back on that right lane.
Yeah, he's going to finish this 10th frame on the left lane. That's been his problem lane. If he can go off the sheet, he can shoot 177. He tries to go Brooklyn, go left, as his opponent has done with not that much success. We'll have a single pin to cover.
If he can pick this up, he's going to be in the 150s.
And that will mean that the title in the Bowlers Gazette Top 10 Tournament Junior Boys Division will go to Jeremy Hyatt. Jeremy was the top seed. And you know, in the competition that we've been doing this day, in the prep girls, #1 seed Tina Zaza, she was the winner. Junior girls, Christina Rose, #1 seed, she was a winner. Major girls, Melissa Campanelli, #1 seed, she was a winner. Prep boys, Jimmy Johnson III, #1 seed, he was a winner. And it continues on as Jeremy Hyatt, the #1 seed, is going to be the champion here in the junior boys division for boys ages 12 to 14. Actually, these young men are 15 years of age, but when they started into the competition, they were 14 at the time, and they can carry that to their 15th birthday, and then they've got to move on to the major boys competition. Baby split left for Jeremy. Give him a little practice at it because he's already wrapped up the title with this performance. 156 the final count for Shawn Broomall. Flattens it out and makes it. I'll tell you what, he is a quick study, because 2.5 years to know how to flatten that ball out. Intelligent young fella, 9th grader at Del Castle High School, and he's got himself a junior boys Bowlers Gazette Top 10 Tournament title. And he should be congratulated. He's going to finish in the 180s. He's got 172, and his count ball here in the 10th frame.
180.
180 right on the nose, but there's your champion in the Bowlers Gazette Top 10 Tournament Junior Boys Division. It is Jeremy Hyatt over Shawn Broomall. The final score, Jeremy Hyatt 180, Shawn Broomall 156. Our congratulations to the champion for Ward Novak. This is Len Holmquist. Hope you've enjoyed it, everyone.